the better side.
I wouldn't disagree with that. I think they looked a little bit more, without really, flexing their muscles, they looked a little bit more controlled with 11v11. I thought Chelsea did a great job today. I thought they learned from the game at Man United, where they lost Sanchez very early on to a red card and they had a panic up. Maresca had a panic up, made all these changes when all they needed to do was keep a good shape against a poor United side. Today, the sending off was a little later when Caicedo was red carded, and deservedly so. But they didn't panic. They kept a good shape. They were defensively very strong. I was actually disappointed in Arsenal today, particularly when Caicedo goes. I was expecting more from Arsenal in the final third. When you're in the last 10 minutes of a game and the side with 10 men look as likely to score, although we saw that Gyökeres chance that was taken from his head by Timber, Chelsea still were a threat going forward with 10 men in the last 10 or 15 minutes. And that tells you all you need to know about their mentality. So I think they can be very pleased with the win at Burnley, beating Barcelona the way they did, and really rolling their sleeves up today with a man down for the best part of an hour and putting up a really good fight against the best team in England at the moment. So I think Chelsea will be happier with that, but we'll never really know. It was looking like it. I mean, Anthony Taylor took 5 or 6 minutes, I think, to eventually get his first yellow.
Oh, as Craig said, it's hard to say. Yeah, maybe, and we can hope that they could have a better result because they did better than Arsenal. I think Arsenal lost 2 points, playing 10 against 11, but otherwise, sometimes we didn't see the difference. We didn't see that Chelsea were one man less, and they worked so hard, and they were all together. I mean, the back line, and you can add Malo Gusto or Reece James because sometimes they change positioning, and Sanchez. They were so strong. I think Chelsea showed today. As I said last week, and I was expecting that they got a little bit more mature in terms of games. Yeah, in terms of discipline, they still have to grow. But what I saw today was a team capable of fighting against the best team in England, and maybe, certainly one of the best teams in Europe. What Bayern Munich wasn't capable of doing 11 against 11 against Arsenal, Chelsea was capable of doing it 10 against 11. They were capable of fighting against a team who know how to be aggressive in a good way, how to challenge the opponent, and Chelsea were even doing better than them. So it says a lot about the performance of the Blues. And as I say, at the end of the day, Enzo Maresca should be proud of what he did today with all the players, I think the Arsenal coach, should be upset about his team not being capable of getting the 3 points.
But they've still kept 5 points, haven't they, between them and City and 6 and Chelsea? So it's not, it just wasn't. They didn't take advantage of a scenario that unfolded in front of them as good as they probably should have. I mean, Saka had that moment where he created the goal, where he dropped the shoulder, but Cucurella, who, he looks, when you watch him, he's just extremely annoying, but he does a good job. I mean, he got booked early on, and then he still managed to get tight to Saka without crossing that line, which is very difficult.
I know. The thing with Arsenal, though, is, as great as they've been and as good as they look, you've got to kill teams off. You can't, if you want to win the title, you can't leave teams hanging around, and that's what they've done today. I understand that 11v11, the intensity, it was great to watch. I mean, there wasn't a lot of fantastic football, but as a spectacle, I really enjoyed it.
Have you seen them that uncomfortable this season?
It's not uncomfortable that's bugging me. What's bugging me is when they equalised, I expected Arsenal to be fired up even more. You get the equaliser, you're playing against 10 men, you should be absolutely driving at the opposition and hammering them into the ground and knocking the ball around quickly and getting advantage of the 10 men. Instead, you see Saka creating the first goal. He never saw the ball for about 10 minutes. Why don't you get him the ball? And then you've got Timber started getting in his way. So Saka then comes inside. Now, as I said, you've just gotten the goal from getting the ball to Saka, but then he doesn't get it. And then Madueke, this was too much for him. This is a guy who, at Chelsea in particular, which is why Arsenal bought him, when he got the ball and he faced up with his opposition, he went after them. He looked scared today. It looked like it was too big. It was too big for him to step onto that Stamford Bridge Field. And the biggest thing that annoyed me...
also...
The biggest thing, Frank, that annoyed me, there's about 20 minutes to go. It's 1-1, you're playing against 10 men, and you're letting Chelsea walk out with the ball and knock it. The two centre-backs are knocking it side to side, and nobody's closing the ball. I mean, really? If you want to win the title, you've got to go and win it. Nobody's going to give it to you. And you're a man up, and you're standing off. That makes no sense to me at all.
Yeah, I agree with Stevie. I think the leaders, and I'm talking about Saka, about Eze, they were only, for me, the shadow of themselves today. We didn't really see them doing what they had to do and what they normally do. Eze was absolutely invisible at the point that Arteta substituted him. And defensively, except Declan Rice, who always is the right guy at the right place and do the right job. The others, nah, not so much. Well, the fact that Saliba and Gabriel didn't play, it's a big turning point as well. You have to consider that, with all due respect to Mosquera and Nkapie, but it's not the same. It's not the same duo. And it's not the same level for me. So it says maybe why Arsenal, on especially set pieces, corner kicks, didn't get anything from there.
Didn't have that blistering game that he did in the North London derby. Bukayo Saka got very little change out of Cucurella. Lisandro Trossard, who does things differently and can just pop up with something special, is injured. And Martinelli's a one-trick pony. I agree with Frank. I think Declan Rice was the best player in the park. Again, Stevie and I were talking about this before we came on air. Yeah. He's just a Rolls Royce at the moment. But it was...
Frank, what does this result mean for the title race? Are Arsenal still big favourites?
Yeah, they are, but they will have to prove it. They lost 4 points against Sunderland and Chelsea, and Man City is back. Chelsea is still there. We'll have the winter room right now, window right now, and it's going to start very soon. And let's see, even if they play one, they can be inconsistent. So I think Arsenal is still the favourite, but I like the fact that we can still have a race, and it's not given already after that game. 10 against 11, they should have gotten the 3 points, been, I don't know, 7 points ahead of the others. It's nice for the Premier League, I think.
Why, but, you know, it really is theirs to go and win this year, because, and if they don't, it's going to throw up more questions than answers, many more, because it's a decent version of City, but it's not the best. It's an evolving Chelsea side, but one that hasn't got over the line. It's very young, and it's certainly not the best version of Liverpool, by a long shot. So when you think about all that, the sides that are really the ones that are going to be in the horse race, and they are either struggling or we really are unsure about them, if Arsenal don't go over the line this year, that's going to be a psychological battering ram for them, isn't it? Because they are the strongest in this league at the moment by a stretch, in terms of the squad, in terms of the performance. But if somehow they chuck this away this year and they allow a City side that were flagging last year, or Chelsea, who are young and naive, if they'll allow one of them, we know Liverpool are not going to win it, they're too far behind now. But if one of those others were to win it, I wouldn't like to be Mikel Arteta facing the questions.
No excuses. There really isn't. No. There's no excuses. Every department of this Arsenal squad, team, 11, bench, you name it, is as good or not better than every other team in the Premier League. So this 100% has to be the year.